Like, don't get me wrong, I loved being a flight attendant. It was the best thing ever. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Bianca B, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, make sure you guys check out my celebrity interviews, vlogs, and makeup tutorials. So today we're about to get into it. Why I stopped being a flight attendant and how it is working in LA versus New York. I get this question a lot, so I'm kind of just going to go into details. I've also had several other videos on LA versus New York, but I'll kind of just go into details about everything. You guys can also listen to my podcast. Make sure you guys check out the episodes and look at the Bianca B show on every platform. I think the last platform we need to get on is Apple, but it's gonna happen, you guys. But other than that, just click the description below. You'll see the podcast. So it's going really good. So I'm super excited. So let's get into this video. So guys, we're gonna talk about why I stopped being a flight attendant. So, okay, backstory. So I originally went to school for film. If you guys are just tuning in, I have my degree in digital filmmaking and video producing. And I was doing that for about 11 years. I was doing that for about 11 years. And in 2022, I lost my job, and I talk about this. I was working on a talk show, and I lost my job, and I kept looking for jobs. Like, I really was looking for every film job that you could think of. And I had a family member who was like, I think that you'll be a great flight attendant. You should try it out. So I ended up, let me sip this really fast. So I ended up applying to be a flight attendant. And so, you guys, it took me up to the third try to become a flight attendant. For the first two companies, I did not get the position, but the last one I did. And I worked for Republic Airways. We were a regional airline, and we mainly flew United, American, and Delta. So I was able to fly on all three, which was like such a privilege. I loved it. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved being a flight attendant. It was the best thing ever. But was at work one day. I was sitting on hot, and if you're a flight attendant, you know what hot is. I was sitting on hot, and I was like, God, I'm going to try out this film thing one more time. I'm going to just try out this film thing one more time. So I ended up applying to mad jobs, one being the network that I work for now. I've been trying to get to that network since 2020. And I ended up applying and ended up getting it. And so I was like very shocked because I didn't think that it would happen that fast. I really didn't think that I would get the position so quickly. But I ended up getting the position. And so when it was time to depart, I was still freelancing. I consider what I was doing freelancing as far as being a flight attendant, because I feel like that is such a freelance job, in my opinion. Although you are on a schedule, you do have a lot of freedom to do other projects. And so I really wanted to do my current job and be a flight attendant, but the company would not let me be a flight attendant. So that is why I stopped being a flight attendant. But if they would have gave me the opportunity to do both, I definitely would have done so. So what I learned about being a flight attendant was the best thing that happened to me, you guys. I feel like it was something I needed in my life. It was something different. It taught me discipline. It taught me peace. It taught me patience. I feel like prior to that job, I had zero patience for people. I was always moody. I always had an attitude. And that job literally taught me about people. Because as a flight attendant, let me take this. Because as a flight attendant, you are dealing with so many different people and so many different personalities. And it really taught me a lot of patience. It was exactly what I needed. I felt like that was one skill set that I didn't have. And I think that was jeopardizing my film career. At previous jobs, I would be mad emotional and react and be a reactive person. But becoming a flight attendant really helped me and kind of molded me into a better personality, and then learning how to detach from things, because a lot of things aren't that deep. a lot of things aren't that deep and people are going through their own stuff. And a lot of times we let other people's frustrations of what they got going on at home impact us, as individuals. And that job really is what I needed. So now I know how to react to things so much better. Becoming a flight attendant was the best thing I needed. It gave me so much peace. It gave me clarity. It's a job I highly recommend people do. If you can become a flight attendant one time in your life, it was the best experience. I don't regret it. I don't think that you can maintain a relationship. That's just my personal opinion. But people have families, but are you young and in your 20s? I think that you should. And even in your 30s. Live it up if you're a flight attendant. Live it up. Don't take nothing too serious. And so, yeah, that was the reason why I became a flight attendant and the reason why I stopped being a flight attendant. So a lot of people do ask me that question very often. So now I'm going to talk about the difference between working in LA and working in New York and the things that I've learned in this business, because on this podcast, we talk about business, finances, and friendships. And so with the business side of things, in LA, it's all about who you know. At the end of the day, relationship building is so important. And it's the same in New York, but I feel like work ethic is the most important thing to New Yorkers. They kind of really don't care about who you are and what you do or what you have. And I think that is a good mindset to have compared to in LA. I think that New York just gave me a tougher skin, and I can only speak on my experience and what I observed from working in both the entertainment industry in New York and in LA. In LA, like I said, it's a lot of relationship building, a lot of coffee dates and meeting people and giving a lot of your time to people. I feel like in New York, it's all about your work ethic and how you are in the work environment. I also noticed that people in New York, they love to be in the office compared to in LA because it is, I think because of weather. In LA, people are a lot more outside and outdoors and take a lot of coffee dates and a lot of meetings. And that's how you really negotiate deals, in my opinion. Taking out people for lunch and those types of things. Compared to New York, it's all about your work ethic and what you can do. In LA, it's all about your look too. The flashy car, the bags, the makeup, the lashes. I feel like people in New York, as far as the entertainment industry, you still have that. You still have those girls who are like that, but I feel like you can be more natural here compared to in LA. LA is big on looks and big on appearance and how you look, and even get into the clubs and then working and stuff like that. But that is something that I noticed, that I can wear jeans and still get hit on, you know what I'm saying? So going into business, what I learned about in LA is entrepreneurship. Everybody's an entrepreneur in LA. People understand entrepreneurship, and that's the one thing that I love about LA is people genuinely are entrepreneurs and freelancers. A lot of people are multi-talented in LA, and that's something that I love. It's hard to explain to other people about what you're doing in different states. In New York, it is a worker kind of mentality. So that is the big difference I noticed. When it comes to finances, I personally feel like I spent more money I think I spent the most money here compared to in LA. That's just my personal opinion. But LA is more, I don't know. If you actually Google it, I think New York is more expensive than LA. I don't think that you get what you pay for in New York. Relationships and friendships. So all my friends in LA were from Detroit, so that made a difference. But other than that, I honestly I don't really have many friends in New York. I just don't really kick it with people like that. I also don't go out as much because I am older now. So yeah, back then when I moved to LA, I was outside and having fun. Compared to here, I'm not outside as much. But yeah. That's my flight attendant story and working in LA and New York. My advice is just go where you feel like you should go. I think that they're both beneficial. I felt like I've learned a lot as a producer living in New York versus LA, but I think that they're both very beneficial. It's your girl Bianca B. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Bianca B. Thank you for liking this podcast. Yeah, it's your girl Bianca B, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bianca B, Bianca B, Bianca B.